So welcome everybody to the Joy of Business Taster. We are here with a lot of Joy of Business facilitators. This taster kind of came out of, we were chatting with some of the ladies in Russia who are hosting me for a Business Done Different class in May. And we were like, well, what if we did a taster with all the Joy of Business facilitators and really just, played with the energy of Joy of Business for Russia. And then we added Czech translation because I'll be going there to Prague in June. And so then it just became a big party. So we're so happy that you guys are all here. And there's a lot of JCFs, Joy of Business facilitators here as well. I'm so grateful for you guys all being here. One of the things that I feel like the timing of this Zoom is really quite perfect. Some of you guys know, but there's been a creation in Access Consciousness called the Hub. And the Hub, it has been this amazing place kind of where all of the specialties come together. So the Joy of Business and Conscious Horse and 3-Day Body Class and Being You and X-Men and, all these different specialties have been sort of run under the umbrella of the Hub. And just recently, kind of all of a sudden, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, said, the Hub is done. And what can we create now? And to me, that is like an amazing Joy of Business way of functioning, actually, way of being with business that is such a different and totally refreshing way to be. Because in a normal, quote unquote, business, it would be, we need to do a reorganization. We need to go through a reorganizing of the company, and we need to move people, and we need to move structures, and it would take 6 months, and but we're not going to tell anybody that we're reorganizing until it's done. And and this was, hey, this is done, let's acknowledge that it's done, let's create something different. What else can we create? And I love that Simone Milicis, who is the founder of Joy of Business, and has been the worldwide coordinator of Access Consciousness up until, 6 or 10 months ago, something like that. She said, she wrote an email to everybody and she said, we have just instilled chaos. Basically, don't try to figure it out, relax into it. And to me, this is what I love about the Joy of Business, because it matches so much more how most of us function, but have made wrong and have tried not to function and, tried to figure out how to do this reality so that we can get it right, so that we can get business right, rather than going, what if business was actually about creation, period. So there's a lot of brilliant Joy of Business facilitators. My personal point of view is some of the most brilliant people and creators that I know are Joy of Business facilitators. And so I just wonder, if you guys want to, I feel like it would be really fun to start with this conversation and kind of dive in. And then, we can take some questions later on. So who wants to say hi, and what would you like to share or contribute? Or
I can start.
Cool.
Hey guys, I'm Laleh Hancock, in case some of you guys don't know me, and I've been a Joy Business facilitator for a little while now. Like you said, Heather, I think one of the magics is that every single one of us does our businesses different. We have different ways. We even think of a business. Like, some people don't even know that they're actually running a business every day of their lives, because they're actually employed working for somebody else in their organization or their company. But the magic is actually you. and that communion and communication that you have with the consciousness of whatever that is, whether it's, you know, physical form of a business or however you're contributing to the world. And Gary, just, I adore him, and truly his willingness to allow things to go and for people to make mistakes, for people to try different things and see what works and doesn't work. And the energy of the hub the last 6 to 12 months, even being part of the hub myself with the specialty, has been really weird. Like there was this so much creation that wanted to happen. And then as soon as we were done with our meeting and we were doing whatever we were doing, it just would go plop, like what's happening? What's the next thing? And it really was that the future was whispering. And Gary's willing to ask questions. Like truly, they all got together, Simone, Gary, and others, and really asked, if we keep the hub, what will the world be like in 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 100 years? And if we don't, what will that also create as the future? And the willingness there to know when things need to actually shut down and things need to look very, very different. Knowing it's going to create so much chaos and stir everyone up and freak everyone out. And like, how much have you not been willing to do that in your own lives? How much are you not willing to do that in whatever you consider to be the ways that you bring in different revenue streams into your life or your business? And how much has the business been talking to you so loudly that you're not even listening to? You know, for me, right before this, I was actually looking at my classes. So many of us are facilitators. We go to different places and we facilitate. And that enthusiasm, that excitement of, you know, going to different places. And I have been traveling 8 months nonstop, going to different countries almost every single week. And I actually looked at, what do I desire to create as the future? And does the energy of the classes and the creation still match the direction of where the world is going? The universe has shifted and changed. The earth is so different. We're all so different. The Global Foundation created such different new possibilities. Are you looking at your life now? Are you looking at what those moments of choices were? Do they still apply? Is it still going to create greater for you? Is it still going to create greater for the future? And the answer can be yes, but it's that constant willingness to be in the question.
There were a million gems in what you just said. I'm like, we could take a lot of those things and run with them. Yeah, and I think we so, you know, in this reality business is such a conclusion. And it's about getting it right. And the invitation of the Joy of Business is just so different because it's actually not at all about that. And one of the things that you said too was, you know, that the energy of the hub has been weird for, 6 to 12 months. And I want to highlight that because that is something that usually as humanoids or, people that are drawn to these types of conversations, when something like that is going on, we're so accustomed to judging ourselves that we look here at like, oh, there's something wrong with me. Oh, I'm being judgmental. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Notice that there's no question rather than going, what am I aware of here? It's one of my favorite X-Men tools. What am I aware of? What am I perceiving? And because what if anytime there's a little wrinkle in your world or there's some energy that's not moving in your business or something seems off, what if it's actually, like Laleh so beautifully said, like the future whispering and inviting us to something different, not the wrongness of you or the wrongness of a situation, but what if it was actually possibilities, And Steve Bowman, who is also an access facilitator, a brilliant business creator, he says, what if, he says a problem is just a possibility with a point of view attached. So it can, like this thing that we're all aware of with the hub, that's a possibility, but when you attach a point of view to it, then you actually make it a problem. So you can flip it, and start going, okay, well, what do I know? What am I aware of? What am I perceiving? What's right about this? Start asking these questions, and voila, you have a whole new universe of creation. So you guys feel free to chime in, other JCFs. There's so many of you here. I'd love to hear from all of you. This is when everybody gets quiet and shy.
Shy people? I don't know any that is shy at all whatsoever. Where are you guys?
That's classic. Go ahead, Glenna.
Hi, everyone from Russia. I was just there like 4 weeks ago teaching classes. I had such a wonderful, wonderful time in Moscow. My first time. I love that the possibilities, like every problem is a possibility, and it's so true. When something's changing, we so quickly want to go to this is a problem. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. And if you go like, what's actually changing here? What's possible here? And look at it as a possibility, huge things start to open up. And it's, Laleh and Heather, both of you spoke so well about being in the question all the time with everything you're creating and choosing and everything that's showing up in your life that's weird or fabulous, to always be in the question of what it's creating, what it's going to create for your future. I mean, I love the question, what's my future going to be like if I choose this or if I don't choose this? And it's so funny, I'm a Joy of Business facilitator, and for most of my years in business, I didn't think I was in business. I had no idea I was doing business. I had this practice. I was a physical therapist, and it wasn't a business. And when I started using the Access tools and listening to Gary Douglas and Simone Melissa speak about business, I just grabbed everything they said and started changing my whole point of view. And my business changed, and it changed, and it grew, and it changed. And things were added in, and offices moved, and they closed down, and things that would have been a problem never were a problem. They were always greater creations. And what I love about the Joy of Business classes, and especially the 3-day that Heather's bringing all over Europe, is that all those tools that I was going to hundreds of classes to get, because there wasn't a Joy of Business class at that point, are all now in this 3-day class. So you can get them all in, like so many of them in 3 days, to change the way you see business, the way you see how you create in business, see the greatness of you in the business you are creating. That was huge for me, because I didn't think I was doing business. I didn't think I was good at business. And looking back, I was actually quite good at business. And the tools have contributed to that growing, and me having like the confidence or the trust to know that I actually love this. It brings me joy. And it's something that creates more for my life, my future, and for everyone around me.
That's so brilliant, because when you judge something, you can't receive from it. And so you judge you in regards to business, you judge business, it's like you had this brilliant business that you were creating. And it's like, so what changed, Glenna, when you acknowledged that you were actually brilliant with business? Were you able to receive more from your business?
Absolutely. My business started to grow. I was able to receive more of me also, because I was able to acknowledge how I created. And Laleh said, we all create business different. And I was able to acknowledge what that was. And then when I acknowledged what it was, I could contribute to what those energies were, because I wasn't pretending they didn't exist. I wasn't fighting against them or ignoring them. They were now part of my creation, and I could include them, and it grew. And, there was an ease that started to be created. A huge ease started to show up in the creations of business. The way I got clients and patients, the way my classes started to fill, the people that started to ask me to come to other countries to do classes, all of that there was less force involved in all of that. And it wasn't linear or cognitive, but asking me that question, I start to see how that started changing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this is like one of the big things in Joy of Business is really, the sort of core of it in a way is getting out of judgment with business and with you in regards to business. And like Laleh was saying, really being you in business. I always say these classes are also being you classes, because it is about really discovering, wow, there's a whole treasure trove of awareness that I have here. about creation that nobody has ever shown me, because nobody else is you. Nobody else knows what you know. Venus, you were gonna say something before.
Sure. Yeah, that was, thank you for saying that and adding to that, Glenna, because that, judgment is, getting out of judgment has changed everything in my life, not just my business, but one of the things is I like to do little tricks, because I'm like, sometimes we're like, oh, I don't know how to get out of judgment. Like, how do I get out of judgment? And this, I'm like, I have such a point of view about this. And there's a couple of great ones in Access, and one of them's interesting point of view. I have this point of view, and saying that until that energy changes. But the big one that really has helped me a lot has been just finding something I'm grateful for. Like the attitude of gratitude has changed so much in my business and my life, and being able to be like, even when I'm frustrated with my 18-year-old who's pushing all my buttons, and I'm like, okay, how can I be grateful for her right now? And what am I grateful for her right now? Instead of focused on, what she's not doing, or, how she's, bothering me. And it's the same with business. It's like when it's not maybe going the way that you want it to go, what can you acknowledge? And I love that about Glenna. It's like acknowledging that you really are good at it, or there is something in your life that's going great and that is working, and finding that focus changes everything, at least for me. So
yeah, gratitude and judgment cannot exist in the same space, and judgment kills creation.
I like to say this: judgment kills, gratitude grows.
Oh, that's awesome. Fove has a question in the chat. I have difficulty getting the difference between relaxation with business and being lazy with business. Oh, I love that. Can someone speak more to this? Anybody want to address that?
I can address it, and I kind of know Fove. We work together a lot. It's really funny. I'm just curious if you use the tools of light and heavy, like just the difference of their energies when you even say relaxation and then you say lazy. Like, how different are those two energies? And knowing you, I wonder, do you even know what lazy is? One tool that I've just loved so much is whose lies, what lies, and how many lies am I using, and then fill in the blank. Because so much of business is that we learn things from others, like, okay, how I even need to speak to others, how I put my email together, or how I actually invite people and engage with people. Like, everything has so many points of views of everybody else. And really, like, what is it for you? Those moments where things just flow, you don't have to think. It just goes from like one thing here, and you're doing this thing here and here, and it's just truly flowing and going with the energy. Okay, like, what is that for you? And those moments where, it's not like, whose reality are you trying to create in business? Because your business will flow when you're being you. But when you're trying to be like someone else, do it like a perspective or a point of view that you got from someone else, those are the moments you have to take you as this infinite being, this infinite creator who has total ease and joy following energy, to then to put you in someone else's box of how they would do it. So like, truly, whose lies, what lies, and how many lies am I using to create my business today is one of my favorites, because it really gets you to be the space of you. And then would you be willing to ask the business, hey, what would it be like if we had more fun together right now? So whatever's not working, are you willing to talk to the consciousness of it and just communicate with it and let it have your back and contribute to whatever you got to do?
That's awesome. I think also like the choice for relaxation and like to acknowledge when there is the energy of relaxation and the energy of ease, joy, and glory, is like, it's such a courageous choice in a way in this reality. It's like if you're working your ass off and you're functioning from the adrenaline pump, like you can justify that you're doing everything that you need to do what you need to do. You can be like, yes, I'm doing business. This matches this reality's definition of work. And so therefore, I should be making some money. And if I'm not, then, it's somebody else's fault. That's pretty much how this reality works. But when we start to step into that space of ease and relaxation, it's going to feel really freaking different. It's going to, and this is where the distractor implants really start to get louder, because in a way, kind of like the further you move into you and the relaxation of being, and the further away you move from this reality and the distraction of business, the more weird you might actually start to feel, and it's because that's how it's all designed. It's designed, like the distractor implants are actually designed to distract you back into this reality. So when you start to go into doubt, or you start to go into fear, or you start to like question, not question like being in question, but actually the doubt of, question of doubt. We can like keep ourselves relating to this reality and how business is supposed to be done, but then you don't get to discover what's true for you. And so I know for me, I've found that the relaxation of creation and the relaxation of business has been quite like edgy at times in a weird way. You would think, oh, relaxation, but there's this courageousness when you choose that where you really do have to be present and stay in the question. Like Laleh was saying, of going, what is this actually, and whose lives am I functioning from here? And if I wasn't, what would I know? What's actually occurring?
Yes, and there is a judgment around laziness. You judge yourself when you think you are lazy. And what if you could be asked the question, am I able to dare to have relaxation now? And just ask this question and see if it is light for you. And you need to be courageous to just say, yes, now I will have some relaxation with my business, and just see what can be created with that. And yeah. And what if you are not lazy? Just but maybe you have this idea about you, but maybe people around you don't agree with that. I know you as well. So I'm Laurence, I'm from France. I'm a Joy of Business facilitator, and I'm very happy to be there with you. And what about business? And there are a lot of tools in Joy of Business. And when I started to be a Joy of Business facilitator, for example, my English was very, I had a bad level from my interesting point of view. And now with this beautiful team, with these beautiful colleagues, I started to improve my English, and now I'm able to be in a Zoom and speak English with a lot of people from a lot of countries. So I'm very happy and proud with that. And in Joy of Business, you are challenged at each time. You can challenge yourself, you can add a lot of new ideas, you can create what you want. And it's very funny and joyful to be part of this way of life, I could say. It's so funny, and at the same time you can change a lot of things in your life and in your business. And by using these tools, you get more awareness about what you are used to do in your life, in your business, and then you can ask questions and start to change a lot of things with the tools. And so I'm very happy to share that with you. And if you have questions, maybe in the chat, and we can go on with Heather, Laleh, Venus, Glenna, and who else?
Betsy is here, and I think Paul.
Yes, Betsy. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I love this conversation that we've had so far. I'm Betsy McLoughlin. Nice to meet you guys. And one of the things, with Fal's question about laziness, it kind of goes right back to what we were talking a little bit earlier with judgment. And, it's like, how much are you judging what you're perceiving and then thinking it's yours? And so when you shift that to like all of the tools that have already been listed, which have just been so many, and I use all of them and so grateful for them, is that those asking those questions and then realizing, hey, what am I aware of, or whose world am I in? And shifting those, what you might be perceiving as a judgment of yourself, your business, or others, and shifting that to what can I be grateful for here? What's right about this that maybe I'm not getting? So if you're hitting a level of frustration, what is required here? Do I need to go to a walk, on a walk? Do I need to walk away from the computer or reschedule this meeting, or really what's required here? And then anywhere where you might be judging, I'm being lazy right now. Well, is that true, or is something else required? What are you actually aware of here? So, and then, how Heather started our conversation today about talking about how the hub was just disintegrated, right? And something different is being created. There's no judgment there. It's just like, okay, now what can we create? So, I wanted to add that piece. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And, there's something that Gary talks about, which is moving on quicksand, when you create moving on quicksand. And I love with the changes in the hub, he kind of announced it on a telecall. Like it was, it was so like, just, I love how Gary functions with business and these tools and the invitation. There's no significance. There's no form and structure, like truly living the 10 keys to freedom, which if you haven't taken a foundation class, that's in that class. And it's also a book, amazing tools of access consciousness. And he, he was like on a telecall that wasn't a call for hub facilitators. It was just a telecall that he was doing. And all of a sudden was like, the hub's going away, and people were like, oh, okay.
Wow.
And it was just so cool how it was like, okay, yeah, so yeah, you guys, the hub's going away and we don't really know more other than the hub's going away. And you can keep facilitating your classes. We'll let you know, we'll let you know more as we know more, and as we create more. And but because the thing is that humanoids get bored, like we get really bored really fast. And when we think we have to like slow ourselves down to have our ducks in a row, wow, does that stagnate things? It's not how humanoids actually function. We're quick, we don't do a lot of significance naturally. I mean, we take it on and we're aware of it and all of that. But when we're being us, there isn't that, in at play. So I wonder, I wonder if you guys, the JCFs, want to share anything about that, like the moving on quicksand, like the speed of creation and choice. And like Laurence was saying, it's been so amazing creating with you, Laurence, and seeing you just being like, okay, I'm going to learn English and get published and write articles in English. And now you're being translated into French, which I think is amazing. And just not needing to be perfect, not needing to have it right, not needing to have your ducks in a row. So anybody want to add to that or ask? If you guys, the participants, if you want to ask questions, please feel free as well.
Hey, Heather, there's actually a question in here. Thais says, hello, I'm now starting my businesses, but I got aware that I judge myself all the time, so I'm killing all my creations. I have a million capacities. Just acknowledge I'm X-Men, but I'm not allowing myself to create and use these capacities. What questions can I ask to start creating? Which some of this we actually did address by the multiple conversations we've had about judgment and procrastination and all these other things. And truly, like, have you killed them or did they change? And so even from that space, like when you are asking questions, how often are we judging by the questions we're asking instead of truly being in the question? So, I wonder, one, obviously the ability that you even wrote businesses and all this stuff, like you tend to have a lot of different capacities that you can use to your advantage. And is it that you killed it or was it something different? Because so often we are like full of ideas and many things that I want to create. But also, how fast are you? Did you already create them all? It's just that maybe they were created energetically and you went off to the next thing and it never physically actualized in this reality, or did it? It just may have realized itself in a different way around the world that wasn't the way you imagined. So like, once again, if we can truly be in question, when you're being in question, you're being interesting point of view. You haven't aligned to something being right or wrong or good or bad. You're actually asking a question. So, interesting point of view is one of those interesting things itself. Dane did 3 or 4 calls so far, and I know there's a whole new call series he's adding in there, because it doesn't matter how long you've been doing Access. All of us can have a totally new world when we're willing to truly be interesting point of view. And if you were to say that, like even what I said earlier, whose lies and how many lies are you using to this? So I wonder, like, how many people's or how many other people's definitions do we even have of killing the business? Does it even belong to you? And if it didn't, what have you already generated, created, actualized for the future that you can actually use to your advantage now, and whatever else you'd like to add to your life or to the world, to the business or anything else? It doesn't matter what you did, what you chose 1 second earlier. What choices are now available for you if you're truly willing to be interesting point of view?
Brilliant. Acknowledgement is a totally different, it's such a different space of that actually, like, because so much of what we create is so energetic, and especially when you have a lot of capacities and you're an X-Men, and it's like there's just these universes and these futures that we create that are not definable in this reality and until they begin to actualize and show up. And so often when we're not acknowledging the energies of what we're creating and the futures that we're creating, we are diminishing what we're like, 1 foot on the gas and 1 foot on the brake, we actually are, the Joy of Business facilitators are actually doing an interesting point of view challenge. I think it just changed. I think it might be 3 months now, but we will send the link to that with the replay of this email if you guys registered. you can check that out, because that tool it's so vital for creation. And one of the things that I've really seen with not like getting out of judgment and being interesting point of view is it really is a choice. Like I think a lot of times, and I did this for so long and I still do sometimes, where I think someday I'll be out of judgment, like someday judgment will just be gone from my world. And, but it's actually a choice right now, and a choice right now, and a choice right now. And it's this like accumulation of the choice to go, oh, interesting point of view. I have this point of view, and allow the judgment to dissipate from your world in that moment. And I don't think we get that, choice is such an interesting conversation for a lot of people, because we're like, wait, it's too easy, but it really is like what you're choosing in every 10 seconds in regards to, are you judging or are you acknowledging? Are you having gratitude, or are you, like disavowing everything and everything you've created? And it's like going to the gym, if you go one day and you're like, wait a minute, like I don't have muscles, well, yeah, but if you go every day for, 6 months, you're going to see something really different. And it's, really no different with judgment and IPOV. Petra says, I want more clients in my business. What questions can I ask? What tools can I use? Who would like to speak to that? I'm sure nobody else has that question.
I can speak to some of that for getting clients, more clients. When you want to be interesting point of view about this, like we've been talking about, having no point of view about the right clients or the wrong clients, or the ones you like or don't like, or what they should look like, or if they're choosing consciousness. That one is a really tough one. A lot of people will go to, I want people that are choosing consciousness to find me. But so many people, few people are actually truly, really choosing that when they first come to you, they may not even know what it is. So that question isn't one that actually creates a lot more clients. Like people who'd like to find me that wants to bring me money? Who would like to find me that's interesting in what I do and what I offer? And the energy pulls are beautiful. You learn in Foundation, pulling energy from the whole world, universe, through your business, through you, to the people that want to find you, pulling it through them to you so they can notice you, feel a pull of you or a tug, and know you're out there and asking, and to get out of judgment of you and what it should look like. How big could your business be that you've never even imagined? And who wants to find you you've never even imagined? Those are just some of the ones that I will throw out there before classes and during the week. And if you guys have some more ones you would add to that.
I can share some. For me, the first place is, are you willing to include your business in what you're asking for? So often we say, this is my business, this is my bar's business, this is my Foundation certified facilitator business, or anything else, but actually it's not. Your business has its own consciousness, and yes, it partnered with you and your energy because it wanted to come alive with your energy in it. So every day, are you willing to actually destroy and create all the projections, expectations, decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, definitions, stratifications, reference points you've made about you, you've made about the business, you've made about your rates, your services, your products, and just let it all go and do right, wrong, good and bad, pon, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And, we say, and even in the BARS manual, who are you? And what grand and glorious adventures are you going to have today? Are you willing to ask your business that too? And ask the business, who or what can I add to you today? Who or what would you like to add to you today? Because what if it's not your job and your only job to be the sole source of this business? That's one of the ways we actually limit the ways the businesses desire to grow. We make it all about us. What if you included the business and the whole universe? Access is here, Joy of Business is here. All of them have their own universes, and they're here to contribute. So if you're willing not to make this be all about you, you now can include everything, every molecule of the universe to be there to support you and have your back, and have the businesses back too. And like Glenna said, the energy pools are amazing. Would you be willing to actually acknowledge the pull, the flow, and the push energy you actually be innately, and allow your innate capacities to actually work for you, not against you? And anything that doesn't allow you to be, know, perceive, receive, and have the awareness of what's going to work for you and how much fun you and the business can have together, will you destroy and create all that? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
This is so, I'm like receiving so much from this. Thank you guys. And you know, I think that a lot of times when we have these conversations, like we throw out these questions and there's all these amazing questions that we can be asking. And I know for me, I'm hearing these questions, I'm like, right, I could be asking that question. I could be asking that question. Like, you know, I ask the questions that I ask every day, and it's great to ask new questions and different questions and more questions. And so, because I think a lot of times people are like, yeah, I know there's all these questions, but really I need you to tell me what I need to do to get more clients, you know? So anywhere that that's going on in anybody's world where you think, no, it can't be that easy. It has to be, you need to tell me what to do, how hard I need to work. What's the secret? Can we destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, pud, shorts, boys and beyonds. And I dare and invite all of us to take these questions and use them every single day, every day, from the space of ask and receive. Because if you ask questions from the perspective of, hey, ask and receive is actually a reality. When I ask for something, it then begins to get created, you know, and like Laleh was saying, including your business and the universe and access, including all of our businesses. What if all of our businesses could contribute to each other, known and unknown, past, present, and future? And everything that doesn't allow that, can we destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right, about all nine puck, pud, shorts, boys and beyonds.
And one of the things that, you know, I wanted to talk about, and then you just started talking about it, was knowing our capacities. And there's what you are good at, you don't think you're good at, right? So how often you're just flabbergasted when somebody wants to pay you money for something that for you is so easy, so natural. You're like, nobody would ever want to give me money for that, right? And it kind of goes with that piece of, can it really be that easy, right? And it's really acknowledging you and your amazing capacities. And we have so many capacities. And how much more can you actually tap into, and how many different streams of income could you create from all these amazing capacities and abilities that you have?
Love that. And it's in those questions every day.
Yeah.
Then the awareness begins to show up. It's not like, okay, universe, today, show me, you know, like I need to know right now, you know, but just
right now.
Exactly. Just a sense of like, oh yeah, every single day I'm asking for more, asking for greater, asking for different revenue streams, different possibilities, different creations. So of course it's going to show up, you know.
Well, and this reality and what we grew up with, we were taught that things were hard and it was tough and it was hard work and nothing came easy. And then here we are with these tools and these magic and these questions saying, actually, you know, how easy can it be? That everything's the opposite of what it appears to be.
Yes, most definitely. I know there was a question in the Russian Zoom. Does somebody want to ask it?
I can translate. We have two questions. So, first in Russian, как возможно быстро перестроиться с привычного понимания бизнеса. So, first question, how is it possible to quickly shift the paradigm from the way the business functions in this reality to the way it functions in the reality of joy of business?
Venus, do you want to? Now I'm just picking on you.
Glenna unmuted. Go ahead, Glenna.
I was going to look for you. We'll acknowledge how much you've already shifted it just by being on this call. Your business is already creating outside this reality because you chose to come on a call like this. No one who wants to keep their business in this reality would be on this call. It would have scared them too much. It's everything we've been talking about this whole call so far is that it's being a question. It's talking to your business every day, destroying it and creating your business every day, asking your business what it would like to create, where it would like to be, what it would like to change. I love to get up in the morning and ask my business, okay, what's required of me today? What's required? What does my business require of me? And that helps with a lot of the questions, like that whole lazy thing starts to go away because I don't go into hard work, do. I have to work really, really hard every day with my business and prove I'm working hard. So I'm valuable in this reality because I'm a hard worker, which we all come from countries where that's valuable. You know, and it may be that your business goes, I'd like you to go for a walk, like someone said, or maybe you need to take a nap and have it start to create without your head involved as much because you're sleeping and it can create now in different ways. It's willingness to follow the energy of like the subtle, substantial whispers our businesses are giving us every day. And following it without a point of view and being in the question of what that can contribute, what it can create and what it can change, and not making those changes wrong, which is how, you know, this whole hub conversation is exactly that. The hub went, whew, and it wasn't wrong. It was a greater creation. That's creating outside this reality. All of the things we're talking about, all of the tools of access, everything that's in foundation, all of those things apply to your business and are ways to start creating beyond this reality. And what would be fun? Just that idea that business could be fun is so beyond any point of view in this reality. If you're even hinting that you like that, you are creating beyond this reality with your business. I mean, what could you acknowledge right now that's been fun in your business today? What was fun for me today with my business? What did it create that made me just go, oh my God, really that? I get that? I get that and that too and that too? I got this call I got to be on and great people talking about amazing tools they use. Acknowledging the joy of that is totally beyond this reality with business. So what do you know? And what are you already creating?
Love that.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah, and I can definitely see, like, we all have projections, expectations, significant, like of how we think things should look. We're taught that from very young ages, like, you know, if you do this, I mean, my dad was like, well, if you need money, you can go work at McDonald's. I was like, screw you, I'm never working at McDonald's. But that was like, his idea was like, no matter what, you can work. And then it was like, so unraveling all of the fixed points of view about how business is done, or what's the right way. I mean, that's a big one. It's like, what if there is no right way? And it's just, you're just exploring and trying something. Try something and see if it works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, try something different. Like, but not from making it wrong or looking for the right way. And if we can destroy and uncreate like the places where we have so many of those projections thinking that it should look a certain way, that's where the judgment comes. Because it's like, if it doesn't look that way, which it never does, by the way. So when it doesn't look that way, then you go into some sort of judgment. It's like, okay, so how can we like see the magic in it, see the miracles in it? When you're, like Glenna says, you're following the energy, then you can be surprised, you know, by the things that you couldn't have visualized or thought of before. So that's just something that helps me a lot.
Well, and somebody asked in here, is business the word to describe everything that is a revenue stream? And, you know, we say in The Joy of Business that business is the adventure of living. It's your entire life. It's, you wake up in the morning and you're breathing, you're in business. It's when you take your kids to school, when you take a walk, when you eat dinner, when you whatever, like it's all part of the business of your life and living. And when you acknowledge that, oh, I'm doing business all day long, every day, then it all can contribute to everything becoming greater. And you do get to acknowledge that you're functioning from a different reality with business where everything is included. And that alone makes such a huge difference, because it can get you out of the judgment of, I'm not doing enough, I'm not working enough, I'm not, you know, like a lot of times I love going through my closets and just like doing like a huge clear out of my entire house, like 2 or 3 times a year I do that. And my business is always so happy when I do that. You know, is that linear? No, but it's part of the business of everything that I create and the presence with it. And the acknowledgement of that is, it makes such a difference. Rudrani wanted to share something, and you know, we had another Russian question too, so.
Oh, should I wait?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just, you know, I'm not part of the hub that's not there anymore for business, but I did take the one class with you, Heather, which was amazing, and things turned around for me so much after that class, so thank you. But I wanted to share, I was at Global Foundation. I hadn't planned to go. I was going to stream it, but I had my book translated into Portuguese, so it was suggested that I should probably go and do that. And so the woman one of the 2 women that translated the book, and she's not a CF, was the one that said to me, you know, you really maybe should teach a class when you come. And so we talked about it, and I got there and we created this class out of nowhere. We met people, nobody knew who I was, or, you know, she knew more people than I did. We were the minority as English speaking people, you know, Americans or whatever. And so I get there and we're able to create a class out of nowhere, this Right Voice for You intro class. And I had my face on every seat, you know, with this little card, and everybody's sitting on my face. And then it isn't until literally the last day, all these people are coming up to me, you know, about the class and whatever, the book. And I ended up having this class that was out of nowhere. Well, I say out of nowhere. We created that literally paid for all my expenses, my hotel, and I came back with $70. And I was shocked and amazed that I was able to create something so amazing. And I acknowledge that creation. I have over 800 Brazilian friends now. And and my host and I created more classes, and I've created classes with other CFs in Brazil. So it's just one of those things where I realized I didn't have time to think, about all of that. We were just going and going and going. And now it's created such an amazing energy. I'm so thrilled and excited about where my business is going now. And this call has been fucking phenomenal. You guys are amazing. And I'm so glad I got on it. And thanks for allowing me to be on a call. I'm probably not supposed to be on, but I'm just so full of gratitude. Wow. So I'm going to stop talking now.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, this is like, what if business was about the creation of a future? And, you know, Rudrani going, oh my gosh, I came back with $70. Now in this reality, someone would go, that's not a very lucrative investment. You know, you took all this time and you went to Brazil and you only made $70, you know, but she's going, oh my gosh, like, look at what we created. And I have all these friends now, and I created all these futures, known and unknown. That's business done different. And when you acknowledge all of these futures that you create, they get to thrive and come to fruition in ways that you can't imagine. So thank you for that. Let's have the other.
Wait, can I just add one more thing there? Because I adore this woman who just spoke, and I want to add something else in there. Rudrani, what if this wasn't just about you and your book and the voice and blah, blah, blah? Like, truly, what futures did your one choice create for you and the whole universe, for now and the future of the future? So this is the piece that I just don't know if all of us acknowledge. You're talking about your businesses. The fact that you even are willing to ask one question is not just about you. It's not about the business you think is there to bring you just money. You are creating a future beyond this reality. You are creating possibilities that exponentialize into other possibilities. And by you asking one question, you open up the space, the ease that becomes available for others to receive more awareness, more information, more possibilities, and more revenue streams. So you guys, we keep thinking we're this little piece in this big pie. We're not. Every one of us and our choices is creating a different world.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
My God, it's a true story. I'm so overwhelmed because it was like I listened to a call that Dr. Dane did, or he said that he was watching the Being You movie, and he suddenly got what a contribution he was being. He just now got it, Dr. Dane. And then somebody said something to me about the book too. Thank you so much for writing this book, and think of all the people now that are going to be moved by it. And that book wrote itself in a week. It's not even my book. It's like I'm chasing a toddler, and I'm translating now in Russian and Italian and French and German. And I look at this little book, it's going to be everywhere around the world. And what is that going to create? And I got to be this tiny part of it. It's amazing. And Heather wrote the foreword. She's amazing. Anyway, I have to stop talking now.
I adore you. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow.
I have to go because I have another meeting.
Yeah.
So,
and
thank you so much.
Yeah. And thank you, Laura, so much for being. I think that's actually a really great place to end this. I know there was a few more questions, but let's let that just explode into our worlds and our days and our evenings. And truly, thank you guys so much, all of you Joy Business facilitators, for being here, and everybody, your presence, and even those of you listening in the future, your contributions to this conversation. Wow. What is possible from here? So yeah, we all do, you know, classes all over the world. You can go to accessjoyofbusiness.com to check it out, or the Access Consciousness website, and we'll send some links in the email. Thank you guys so much, and have an amazing day, everybody.
Thank you for inviting us to play with you.
Definitely.
Thank
Thank you
coming.
all.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.